In 2005, Doctor Who made a triumphant return to television screens after a 16-year hiatus. But this wasn't the same Doctor we remembered. No, this was a Doctor who had seen horrors, who carried the weight of an entire war on his shoulders. A war that erased his people from time itself. This was the 9th Doctor, portrayed by Christopher Eccleston, and in just one season, he would redefine the character, the show, and the legacy of Doctor Who forever. Despite only appearing in 13 episodes, the impact of the 9th Doctor is undeniable. He set the stage for a new era of Doctor Who, one that would captivate audiences worldwide, both old and new. His darker, more emotionally complex portrayal added layers to the Doctor's character that we had never seen before, yet still embodied the more fun, happy-go-lucky side of the character flawlessly. But it wasn't just about the character's growth. It was about reviving a beloved franchise and proving that the Doctor still had so many stories left to tell. In this video, we'll explore how the 9th Doctor not only redefined who the Doctor was, but also helped Doctor Who re-enter the modern age of television as a sci-fi juggernaut. From his in-world legacy to his real-world impact, this is the story of how one season and one Doctor changed everything. If you will, the legacy of the 9th Doctor and how one season changed Doctor Who forever. To understand how the 9th Doctor redefined the character, we have to start with where the Doctor was emotionally and mentally at the start of the series in 2005. This wasn't the quirky, carefree traveler we had seen in the classic series. The 9th Doctor was haunted by the Time War, a devastating conflict that ended with the destruction of his own people, the Time Lords, and his arch-enemies, the Daleks. The weight of this war became central to his character. He wasn't just a hero anymore, he was a soldier, a survivor, and a man with deep, unresolved trauma. One of the most defining moments for the 9th Doctor was his encounter with a lone Dalek. In this scene, we saw a raw, vengeful side of the Doctor we hadn't fully experienced before. The pain of the Time War bubbled to the surface, showing us just how broken this incarnation was.
Why don't you just die?
He had lost everything, his home, his people, and now was facing the very creature responsible for his suffering. But this wasn't all the 9th Doctor was. While he carried the darkness of his past, he also carried a sense of hope. In episode after episode, he forged new relationships, found new reasons to fight, and began to rediscover joy in the universe around him. His relationship with Rose Tyler was key to this healing process. Rose helped him reconnect with humanity, and through her, the 9th Doctor began to see that there was still beauty and wonder left in this world. It's this balance between his darker, war-torn side and his more playful, happy-go-lucky nature that made the 9th Doctor so compelling.
Have a fantastic life.
Ultimately, his journey of self-discovery from a war survivor to a hero once more set the stage for every Doctor who followed. This Doctor showed that even the most broken soul can find hope and redemption. The 9th Doctor didn't just redefine who the Doctor was. He redefined what Doctor Who could be in the modern age of television. Before 2005, Doctor Who had been off the air for 16 years, apart from a one-off TV movie and some other non-live action sources. For many, the show was a relic of the past. Quirky, campy British institution with a wobbly set and alien invasions. But when Doctor Who returned with Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, it wasn't just a revival, it was a reinvention. Russell T Davies, the showrunner behind the revival, had a vision of a Doctor that could appeal to both longtime fans and a new generation of viewers. Christopher Eccleston's casting was a bold move. It signaled that this was no longer the campy sci-fi show of the past. With Eccleston, the Doctor became more grounded, relatable, and complex, a character that could sit alongside the more serious heroes of modern television. Eccleston, known for his dramatic roles in shows like Our Friends in the North and films like 28 Days Later, brought a weight to the character that made audiences take notice. For the first time, Doctor Who wasn't just a fun adventure through time and space, it was an emotional, character-driven drama, and that's exactly what modern audiences were looking for at the time. When Doctor Who returned to TV screens in 2005, it became an instant success, drawing in millions of viewers in the UK and eventually becoming a global phenomenon. But this wasn't just nostalgia at play. It was because the 9th Doctor brought a new sense of depth and seriousness to the show, while still retaining the charm and wonder that fans had loved for decades. Eccleston's Doctor was a perfect blend of old and new, paying homage to the classic era while establishing a fresh, modern tone that set the standard for what Doctor Who could be in the 21st century. The show, which could have easily been seen as a nostalgic revival, instead found new life as a sci-fi juggernaut. This modernized Doctor Who would go on to become one of the BBC's most successful franchises, breaking into international markets in ways it had never seen before. With Christopher Eccleston's single season, Doctor Who was now back in the spotlight, inspiring spin-offs like Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Adventures, and setting the stage for future Doctors like David Tennant and Matt Smith to carry the torch. The 9th Doctor, despite only being on screen for just 13 episodes, was the Doctor who brought Doctor Who back from the dead, both in the world of the show and the real world. Without him and without Eccleston's powerful portrayal, the show might not have survived the modern era of TV. He was the Doctor who reminded the world why this show, with its madman in a box, mattered. Nearly 2 decades after his single season aired, the 9th Doctor remains one of the most important incarnations of the Doctor. His story was brief, but his influence has been felt in every iteration of the Doctor since. The emotional depth that Christopher Eccleston brought to the role created a blueprint for future Doctors. His portrayal of a Time Lord scarred by war laid the groundwork for David Tennant's more introspective 10th Doctor, Matt Smith's youthful but burdened 11th Doctor, and even Peter Capaldi's gruff but deeply empathetic 12th Doctor. Every Doctor since has inherited a piece of Eccleston's performance. The idea that the Doctor isn't just a whimsical traveler, but a being who carries centuries of pain, love, and loss. But the 9th Doctor's legacy isn't just about his impact on future Doctors. It's about how he connected with fans on a deeper level. Many viewers, especially those who started watching Doctor Who in the early to mid 2000s, see the 9th Doctor as their Doctor. He was the one who welcomed them into this universe of endless possibilities, who reminded them that no matter how broken you feel, you can still make a difference. He was the Doctor who showed us that being a hero doesn't mean being invincible. It means being vulnerable, admitting your mistakes, and still standing up and doing what is right. This message continues to resonate with fans old and new to this day. And while Eccleston left the show after just 1 season, his time as the Doctor didn't end there. In 2021, Eccleston returned to the role of Doctor Who in audio dramas, bringing new stories and adventures to the 9th Doctor's era. This return not only reignited fans' love for his portrayal, but also cemented the fact that his Doctor still has stories to tell. Eccleston's 9th Doctor remains a vital part of Doctor Who's universe, and his impact is still being felt nearly 20 years later. Even now, in the show's most recent seasons, we continue to see the echoes of the 9th Doctor story. The Time War, the Doctor's sense of survivor guilt, and his journey of healing have all remained central themes in the series. It's clear that the 9th Doctor's legacy is one that will never truly fade. Christopher Eccleston's single season as the Doctor didn't just bring Doctor Who back, it gave the show a soul. And no matter how many faces the Doctor wears, the 9th Doctor will always be remembered as the one who made us fall in love with this Time Lord all over again. And yeah, that should just about been my rant about the awesome 9th Doctor run and my personal opinions and views on said run. Since the 9th Doctor is one of, if not my personal favorite incarnation of the Doctor, I could actually go on for hours. I have so much to say about this masterpiece of fiction that I could go on forever. And the 9th Doctor is only a portion of that forever, since I love this series in its entirety. But I can't necessarily go on for too long, since this is supposed to be a small form video, and if you did enjoy this, make sure to go check out some of our other Doctor Who content. For example, not too long ago I released a video called Jenny the Companion That Never Was, following a hypothetical where I go over if Jenny, the Doctor's daughter, stayed to become a full-time companion during 10's run, at least for the remainder of 10's run. If you want to know how things might change or how she could have been included in the story, make sure to go check that out. Also, make sure to go check out our custom JoJo series, Shujo's Bizarre Adventure. A card for that will be at the end of the video and all that good stuff. So, this has been SixMysta, and this has been the Fiction Forge. See ya, Whovians, and until next time.
Let us